By this point, we all know that at the dawn of the Indomitus Crusade, the Primarch Guilliman directed Belisarius' call to unleash the hundreds of thousands of Primaris Space Marines inside his gene laboratories on Mars. These awoken Astartes were to be the elite backbone of the Crusade, tasked with pacifying the crumbling Imperium and reminding the galaxy of the true might of humanity. But before the Crusade could depart the Sol system, Guilliman divided his Primaris Marines into two distinct forces. The first was made up of entirely new Primaris chapters, created in what became known as the Ultima Founding, while the remaining Primaris Marines were gathered together into 9 armies the size and strength of the massive Astarte legions of the Great Crusade era. The Battle Brothers that made up this massive Space Marine force became known as GreyShields, a very unique and temporary force that we're going to talk about today in another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. If you're new to the channel, allow me to introduce myself. I am your host Gershwan, your guide into the grim dark universe of Warhammer 40,000. For the entire month of January, I will be creating Space Marine lore videos, so if you have any questions or are interested in a specific chapter or a topic about the Astartes, please let me know what it is in the comment section below. And if you like this style of faction-focused lore, please force the like button to cross the Rubicon by clicking the like button on this video. It helps us focus on these Space Marine lore videos, and it tells YouTube you want to see more 40k content. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts and lore on the GreyShields. The GreyShields were a truly one-of-a-kind Space Marine force, and as a whole, the entire force was officially known as the Unnumbered Sons of the Primarchs. The first thing that made them unique is their organization. You see, the armies were legion size and could wage war on a much grander scale when compared to the successor chapters of the first founding legions. This afforded the entire military force the capacity to cover entire sectors or subsectors under one unified army. They were further divided into chapter-sized units that more or less followed the dictates of the Codex Astarte, but were highly specialized for very specific battlefield roles. They lacked the diversity of the firstborn Marines that were tried and tested on the field of battle. And because of this, the Unnumbered Sons fought alongside many other imperial military forces like the Sisters of Battle and the regiments of the Astra Militarum, something that was very uncommon for the firstborn chapters who were used to operating independently from the rest of the Imperial High Command. Another very rare attribute about the GreyShields is that they fought in mixed gene line formations, meaning that a unit of GreyShields possessed battle brothers with different gene seed heritage. They also supposedly belonged to one of the 9 loyalist Primarchs, but mixing all of these battle brothers could have been a way to hide the battle brothers who descended from the traitor lineage. Nevertheless, what you would find in the Unnumbered Sons units is a Salamander fighting alongside a Raven Guard, all led by a Blood Angel captain. This mixing of gene lines gave the Unnumbered Sons a unique perspective from various genetic backgrounds. But because a lot of the character and demeanor of a battle brother is influenced by their genetic heritage, the mixture created one-of-a-kind unit cohesion. The aggressive nature and close combat tendencies of a Space Wolf could complement the level-headed nature of an Imperial Fist, however, it could also complicate the dynamic. Guilliman hoped that the mixing of the troops would also prevent the inter-chapter disputes that plagued the legions of the Great Crusade era. As far as records show, this did prove to be a good solution, and their cooperation was very similar to Deathwatch kill teams. And another very unique aspect of the GreyShields was that they didn't exist for very long. All 9 armies were dispersed at the end of the Indomitus Crusade, and no battle brother carried on the GreyShield badge of a pale gray chevron on their shoulder plates. Whenever a crusade encountered embattled chapters of firstborn Astartes, the Lord Commander Guilliman ordered members of the Unnumbered Sons of the same gene line to become a replacement for the depleted chapter's losses. At other times, Guilliman simply created a whole new chapter of Primaris Marines from the Unnumbered Sons formations to meet a given need, such as the defense of a strategically important Imperial world. However, these new chapters were not mixed, and composed of only one single Primarch's lineage, like the firstborn counterparts. And by the time of the Battle of Raucus at the very end of the Indomitus Crusade, only 20,000 Primaris Astartes remained within the depleted ranks of the Unnumbered Sons. The fight to defeat the Chaos forces emanating from that ancient warp rift in the wilderness space known as the Pit of Raucus proved to be the last campaign of the Unnumbered Sons, for at its successful conclusion, Guilliman brought the Indomitus Crusade to an end and disbanded the remaining GreyShield armies as he moved on to intervene in the plague wars of Ultramar. The remaining Unnumbered Sons were dispersed to the already established Space Marine chapters, where they would take the lessons they had learned fighting alongside Astartes of different lineages into units descended only from their own Primarchs. Now let's talk about how you could use this established lore on the GreyShields to create your very own homebrew chapter with multiple gene lines. And this is something that I get asked a lot. Could one chapter have more than one gene seed? The answer is no, unless you use the GreyShields as a way to bend the lore so that one single chapter has former GreyShields who are passing down their inherited characteristics, morphing the homebrew chapter into a hybrid successor chapter with battle brothers from different Primarchs. For example, if Guilliman created a new Primaris Marine chapter to defend a certain region of space, it's most likely that the battle brothers tasked with protecting that region are the same Space Marines that pacified the region. And instead of breaking apart units, the entire Unnumbered Sons force simply becomes one chapter and is designated a single gene seed for new recruits going forward, but the original Space Marines are a mixture of Marines. This also gives you the opportunity to hide Primaris Marines with the lineage of a traitor Primarch into a new homebrew Loyalist chapter. The true origins of their gene seed is only known to the chapter and the Torchbearers, which we'll talk about in another video in the future. If you have any questions as how you could use this, please ask down in the comment section below. And that's the lore on the GreyShields. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to be covering Space Marine lore this entire month, so if you guys have suggestions for me, please let me know what they are in the comment section below. If you guys don't want to wait and you guys want to see some really awesome Space Marine lore videos right now, because I've noticed that I've covered Space Marines a lot on this channel, I'm going to put a link up above to my top Space Marine lore videos, so that's where you're going to find like the horrible realities of a Space Marine, could Space Marines have children, the families of a Space Marine, the Space Marines on, or female Space Marines, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be putting on there, so click the link up above and check that out. And also, I do want to ask you guys to give me some creative ideas. I feel like I've covered Space Marines so much, especially like the big names like Space Wolves, Blood Angels, all that kind of stuff, that at this point it's just kind of like, well, what else is there? So comment down below, give me suggestions as to what you guys want to hear about. If you guys want me to redo any of the videos, please let me know which ones you want me to redo. And also, for the first 2 days that this video is up, I'm going to be in the comment section talking to you guys. Usually it's a little bit after 2 days, it's more than 2 days, I should say. But I'm going to be in the comment section talking to you guys, so just ask away, and then I'll try to answer your suggestions, your thoughts, your questions, all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.